and its consequences too many times in too many companies, and I'll bet you have as well. Way too many people come to work fearful. Too many people are playing not to lose every day, using most of their energy to defend and guard themselves. Too many people are covering their assets with one or both hands, costing the company untold profits and the people untold misery. But it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, it's not that way at the Simmons Mattress Company. Simmons is a 135-year-old company that has survived 9 owners and lots of leaders, some good and some not so good. But I want to talk to you about its current leader, Charlie Idle. This is a man who is on that leadership path from good to great. If the story makes the man, then the story of Simmons and Charlie Idle is definitely worth hearing. Take your memory back to the year 2000. Things were really going well. The stock market was still rising, inflation was low, the recession hadn't started yet, and 9/11 could never have been imagined. Life was good. But life at Simmons had become less than good. In the years prior, the business of the business wasn't exciting anyone, anywhere. It was flat, predictable, and there were a lot of hands placed, well, you know where. In 1999, Fenway, a private equity firm, had bought Simmons for $500 million plus change. Their goal was to re-energize the company and resell it in 4 or 5 years. That's the business of private equity firms. By the close of '99, they realized that their current CEO was not the person to help manifest their dream. Then they found Charlie, and Charlie found them. Was I lucky? As soon as Charlie got the job, he called me and said, "Are you ready to do it again?" Since I had flunked retirement for the second time, I was excited to get back in the saddle and be part of Charlie's new adventure. This would be the 3rd time we had worked together to wake up a sleeping giant, tap into its human potential, and get people focused on a new and exciting vision. In January of 2000, Charlie faced his new followers to start that new wake-up call. He shared this rather simple yet powerful promise. He told them that he wanted to create a company where the people would want to get up in the morning and go to work, and at the same time create a company that other companies want to do business with. Charlie said he couldn't do it by himself, but he could do it with the help of others, the others he was facing. The result was that in the spring of 2000, 70 people went off-site for a 3-day executive seminar with the following challenge: to create the organization that, if it existed, would put the current Simmons out of business. Though reluctant at first and in disbelief that they were truly empowered with this enormous task, that's exactly what they did during those 3 days. Again, after a powerful trust-building ropes course experience, Charlie and his team created Simmons's future, a vision of a perfect place to work and a perfect place for other companies to want to do business. The plan was designed to manifest in 3 years. The team created a case for change as well as the purpose, values, and vision that would pull them to that new future. Their purpose statement became helping our customers optimize their nighttime sleep in order to manifest their daytime dreams. This wasn't just something to stick on the wall. This was a promise to get excited about and a way to show people that their work will make a difference. They created a set of values to help guide them to their vision and a pathway to get there. Using what he had learned in the past, Charlie assessed that there was $80 million worth of waste within Simmons' 18 plants. Using a standard of 0 waste, Charlie persuaded his 3,500 employees to want to find half of that waste, $40 million, in the next 3 years. Yes, he asked them. He didn't tell or demand of them. He promised to let them continuously co-create the ideal environment, that great place where people would want to get up and go to work. Of course, no one was expecting the unexpected. By the end of 2000, the rumbles of recession had already hit the furniture industry. Simmons lost 3 of its largest customers to bankruptcy in the first quarter of 2001. 9/11 hadn't happened, but was obviously on its way with all of its repercussions. But what happened to Simmons' vision and promises? Well, in 2001, the employees kept their part of the promise and found $20 million in measurable waste. Simmons didn't quite make their top line, but exceeded their bottom line expectations. They were all heroes. Within 3 years, they had made or exceeded all the measures they had dreamed of during our session in the spring of 2000. And there's more. In November of 2003, Simmons was sold to a larger private equity firm for over $1.1 billion, more than doubling their value in less than 4 years. This happened in the toughest economic times and conditions that any company has seen for decades. To cap it all off, at the end of 2003, Simmons was voted one of the 100 best companies to work for by Fortune magazine. And that's a tough club to get into. Now, ask Charlie how he did all this, and he'll tell you he did it through and with the people. He knew that the real waste was in the untapped potential of all those people who came awake, began enjoying the work they were doing, and learned to trust each other in the process. What he really did was allow the people to have what they said they wanted out of work, the same top 5 benefits that everyone said they wanted. Remember? I want to work for a company that I can be proud of, one that lets me grow, gives me a chance to have a voice, retains the best people, and pays a performance-based, fair wage. And what about Charlie? He signed up for the next 5-year run, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. Leaders like Charlie, who truly care about people and put them first, create value for all stakeholders. Listen to that last sentence again, and take its message wherever you lead. Leaders who truly care about people and put them first create value for all stakeholders. Why don't more leaders follow this lead? The problem is, too many leaders are still holding on to the illusion of control and command. We still haven't fully grasped that seldom in this day and age are people motivated to want to do things for other people's reasons. And have to because I said so does not a leader make. So what's the solution to this leadership challenge? Try saying these words. I am. I am the problem, and I am the solution. Then try saying it again as though you really mean it. I am the problem. I am the solution. Doesn't allow anyone to get off the accountability hook. Since leaders go first, they, by definition or job description, must be the ones who raise their hands first and say, I am the problem, and I am the solution. And now that you know who is the problem and who is the solution, what do you do next? It's time for some deep-down leadership reflection. Deep meaning at your very core, your very being. Reflection meaning telling yourself the truth even if it does make you miserable. And what is it that you reflect upon? It's this. Why do I want to be a leader? In the mid-'80s, I facilitated hundreds of 2-day sessions on leadership. I started each session by asking the participants a slightly different question. It was, why do you think most people want to be a leader? At that moment in this session, I didn't want to ask them why they wanted to be a leader. They seem more spontaneous and truthful with the phrase, most people. Let me tell you what the answers were. The most popular answer from that question from over 1,000 people was power. Did that surprise you? It didn't surprise me. We've had thousands of years of control and command to emulate. The second most popular answer was control. What to do with all that power? The third most popular answer was an eclectic one. Status, recognition, and pay. We combined all these and called them to be served. So, most people want to be leaders so they can have power, be in control, and be served. Isn't this the American dream? Or is it? Here's an insightful question. Would you want to follow someone whose motives are power, control, and being served? Aren't these the ego motives we talked about? Let's check it out. It was at this point in the session I asked them to recall a time in their own lives when they decided to follow someone because they wanted to, not because they had to. That someone could have been a parent, a teacher, a boss, a friend, or someone no longer living. I asked them to write out a scenario of why they decided to follow that person. The most popular answer was, this person they chose to follow had seen something in them, some potential, some talent, that they themselves had not yet recognized. Does this sound like getting power or empowering others? The second most popular answer was, I was stuck in a rut and couldn't see a way out, and that person I chose to follow helped me see options and possibilities that I had been blind to. Does this sound like controlling people or setting them free? The third most popular answer almost always came spontaneously from the participants. It wasn't to be served, but to serve. Wouldn't you be more likely to follow someone whose motives are to empower you, free you, and serve you? That question needs to be asked, but the answer is obvious. Each of us is consciously or unconsciously on our own journey, trying to rediscover the hero we've always been, but may have forgotten. It's a journey from our false self to our true self, the spirit that is truly us. When we know that everyone is on this journey, we seem to do what's right, and we do it effortlessly. At that point, we are the great leaders. The real adventure for all of us is not about knowing the answers, but rather being on the journey to find them out for ourselves. Well, this has been fun for me. I hope it is for you. If you want to hear more about these leadership strategies, go to my website, thegreatgameoflife.com. This is Larry Wilson. I'll see you on the journey.